Let me guess, you've heard everyone talk about MCP, but everyone is making it sound like rocket science. Well, stop watching those 30-minute tutorials that overcomplicate everything. My friend, this is the only MCP tutorial you'll ever need. So if you give me 5 minutes of your time, I'm gonna cut through all the hype and show you how simple and easy MCP is. All right, let's go crack into it. By the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Imtiaz, data scientist and AI engineer, and I help you unlock the full potential of your AI agents. Okay, so if you want to take your AI agent development skills to the next level, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Okay, first and foremost, everybody's making MCP sound really complicated, but it's really not. So what is MCP? MCP provides a standard way for LLM models to connect to data and tools. And think of it as a USB-C connection, but for AI, okay? I want you to think about three components here: the client, the server, and the tools, all right? Now, what is client? The MCP client could be something like Grok, Claude, ChatGPT, and it can be connected to a web interface or command line interface. We're going to actually show you how to use the client using Replit. Anything that connects to the LM model would be a client. Then we have something called the MCP protocol. This is kind of like a USB-C that connects the client to the server. And this is what makes everything standardized. So we can have everything in one place as a configuration file. So what is server? Server is kind of like a service, okay? It provides a set of tools that you can use, something like a toolbox. And services could be Notion, Google Drive, anything of that sort. And it has a bunch of tools, could be some data, you can ask questions about the data. It could be an API. You can maybe create a page using Notion. Literally, it could be anything. Create a Notion page, update the database, create a local file.txt. All these commands are very dynamic, as you can see, but it needs a set of tools to make this happen. To drive this home, I'm going to give you an analogy. Let's just say the client was a carpenter and the server was a toolbox that has everything from hammers, nails, and everything you can think of that a carpenter uses. So when we provide this toolbox to the carpenter, we give the carpenter a set of tools to use. The hammer, nails, and they can choose what order to use. Essentially, it's opening up all these possibilities now to perform action. You know how frustrating it could be when you're asking ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, do something. Don't tell me what to do. Make the presentation, tell me the time in Tokyo, update the Notion page, all this. It just can't do it because it doesn't have the tools. So LLMs by itself has limitations. Now LLM with tools gets slightly better because now it has actions. So if you developed AI agents, then you understood the struggle of creating these tools as well. Because at some point, if you create multiple tools, the agent starts to hallucinate because there's so many options to choose from. There's no standardized ways that the LLM talks to the tools. It's all through API connections, and every API connections could be different, and every configuration is different. So yeah, that could be a problem, but it's still really good because it can still perform tasks for you. And this is the next evolution because instead of having tools, we have services like Supabase and Notion, which could be a set of tools. And this could be something like a toolbox, right? Your Supabase is a toolbox, Notion is a toolbox. Both of them have individual tools that you can use, connect to the server. And MCP is like the USB-C, so it connects your LM to whatever service you want to use. If you're familiar with Make, Late Node, maybe N8N, you understand that it's a struggle trying to piece together all the actions, all the functions for a specific service. Can't Google just give me one set of service that I can connect to and the LM just figures out all the APIs and all the data connections that are inside this? I just put in my API key and I'm done. Well, this is the evolution. This is what's happening because right now we have a lot of MCP servers that are available currently as we speak. I'm going to leave the link so you can check it out. There's ones for Google Drive, Google Maps. Then there is a lot of third-party servers. A lot of people are coming up with their servers, and all thanks to the open source community as well. So you could actually connect to these servers right now for free. So if somebody else built an MCP for a specific service, we're going to actually use Notion and Supabase, which is actually pulled or forked from one of these GitHub repositories here. So you can actually see how you don't even have to create MCPs. You can plug into somebody else's MCP. Yeah, but if you do want, if you are technical, you can go ahead and build your own MCPs. So what I like to do is stack up the configuration file of all the MCP servers I need, so my LLMs know where to access these tools and how these tools are mapped. Okay, so that's basically it. So I'm going to give you 3 MCP templates and you can use it right now and try it out. This is the first template, MCP tutorial 1. Everything is pre-configured, so it's really easy to navigate this. This is the directory on the left. This is when you open up the files, you're going to see all the contents of each file. And at its core, it's going to be basically a JSON file with all the server configurations, right? Configuration meaning that there's external services that you want to connect to, you have an address, so this is where you're going to provide the address so the LM can look into the address and then figure out what tools are available in that address. So right now there's one MCP that it's connected to called MCP Server Time, and we're going to use that MCP to get time conversion. So meaning if I want to figure out what's the time in Tokyo, I can do that, or do any conversions. There's another tool actually that comes natively with MCPs. It's the file system, kind of like a cursor. So it interacts with your local drive. And so if you want to create any documents or you want to access any files, it's able to do so with that system. In order to get started, you're going to click on New Tab, and then you're going to type secrets, and you're going to put in your OpenAI API keys. Okay, right here, just pop it in. Then you're going to open up a new tab and you're going to type shell. Once you type shell, now you can type LLM. What tools do you have available? When you say LLM, this is basically invoking the LLM. So you're now talking to the AI. And when you run it for the first time, it's just going to install a few things. And now you'll see it thinks a little bit and then it gives you all the tools. So it has time management and file management. Web access. You can always close this out again and start over. LLM. So you can say LLM, what time is it in Tokyo if Los Angeles is 12 p.m. It's going to invoke the tools. As you can see, the arguments America, Los Angeles, 12, and target time zone Asia, right? So if it's 12 in Los Angeles, then it's 4 a.m. next day in Tokyo. Great. Let's do something a little bit complex. Let's say LM, can you convert 12 p.m. Los Angeles time to Tokyo, Shanghai, and London, and then produce a .txt file called time zones. Now check this out. This is going to be even better. It's going to perform a sequence of tools together, as you can see, and now it produced a timezone.txt file, right? So if we go to our local directory, we'll see a timezone.txt file. We click on it, and we have the file in our local drive. It's a very simple MCP, but as you can see, this works great. Now we're going to look at MCP Notion. Okay, so I've set up a similar template for you in Replit. So I've set up a similar template for you in Replit. So in this case, not only am I connected to an external service, I'm also connected to an MCP server that I downloaded locally in this Replit environment. So it's basically this folder called Notion Server that is a Node.js file. And in a future video, I'm going to show you how to install this with a couple of commands with Node.js. But as you can see, once this is installed in the local drive, so in the configuration then, I just specify the command to use and where the file is located to pull from, right? It's going to be all the set of tools that are available for Notion. So we're going to do a similar exercise here. We're going to say LLM, what tools do you have available for Notion? So I can actually go into a specific MCP and then figure out what kind of tools I have. So it says I have the following tools: search pages, read pages, create page, update page. So many tools, right? If you were to create all of them manually, you can imagine it'll be so much work. So I'll say, LM, what pages do you have available in Notion? So now it can actually run a function that's available. So in this case, it's searching for pages. So these are all the pages. Then I can say, LM, create a page in Notion about the future of artificial intelligence. This is the parent page ID. So it's going to think. If it thinks for a while, it's good because that means it's doing some really heavy stuff. All right, so as you can see, the feature of artificial intelligence, this page is created. If you go to Notion, you'll notice that it has the page. So now I'm gonna walk you through the MCP Supabase. This is another template I set up. Link will be in the description. And this is the same setup. I downloaded or forked a GitHub repository, put it in the local folder, Supabase MCP. And then when I'm setting up the configuration file, I'm just making sure the Supabase directory is there and the command is node for Node.js. Another thing to note, the MCP server time UVX. This is the external, remember the time connection that we did prior? Same setup. Now, when I go to Supabase, this is my Supabase table. If you're not familiar with Supabase, it's just a developer-friendly or LLM-friendly database, easy to scale. So if you're stuck on Airtable, it might be time for you to upgrade to Supabase. And I'll make more videos on how to create your first database using Supabase. But it's been a game changer, especially when it comes to scaling your AI solutions, right? So we have a table called users, and I want to query the whole table with the LLM. So I can say, LLM, first I'm going to ask LLM, what tools do you have available? So it can tell you like what tools it has available. It can query the table and do the other stuff as before. So I'm going to say, LLM, query the users table. And I want to do something interesting. So instead of getting the whole information, I just want to get a specific field or a specific column here, which is the first name. So I'm going to say, just give me the first names. As you can see, it instantly recognized first name was one of the columns, even though I think my spelling was not correct, but it's LM, it's intelligent, so it figures it out, and then it gives me all the first names in the column. So as you can see, with just this simple configuration, we gave the LM ability to talk to our time data files, Notion, Supabase, and it did the work for us. And this is exactly what we mean when we say LMs should do the work for us. It should not tell us what to do. So once again, these templates are going to be available for you to practice. Just make sure you pop in your secrets in the secret panel right here. Just pop in your LM key, which is your OpenAI, Supabase URL, Supabase key. If you're using Supabase, if you're using Notion, just pop in your Notion secrets and just interact with it, okay? The shell LM. In a future video, I'm going to show you how to connect it to a chat interface. You want to basically, if you would prefer it that way, you can also do that. So the links to this template is going to be under the resource hub. So check out the resources here. And then you're just going to filter by YouTube, and it's going to be in that. All right, so you're going to have access immediately. By the way, if you have an AI agency or you are a startup founder, you're invited to come to our 12 p.m. class on AI agent development so you can take your skills to the next level. So make sure you mark the calendar for our next meetup. And that's literally all you need to know about MCP servers and clients. We've literally connected our AI model to a toolbox of opportunities that now it can take action in the real world. By the way, if you want to explore the best open source agent development framework, check out the video I'm going to link here. And if you want to find out the LLM friendly way to crawl websites, any websites, check out this video I'm going to post here. All right, I'm Imtiaz. I'll catch you next time. Peace.